Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central's CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And we got a bit of an interesting video coming up as Hergy Mayala re-signs with the BC Lions. Now, it doesn't look like we know how long, as if I'm looking on 3 down.
I think it's just like a regular 1 year.
I would assume so, but it doesn't say that, so I'm not going to put that in the title. I'm just going to put it that he
You know
resigns.
what happens when you assume?
Well, I don't want to assume. I want to make sure we're good, but... he's had a bit of an interesting kind of trajectory. He had been with Calgary when he started his career. He had spent 2 years then with the Alouettes. Then with his year in Edmonton, I think that was probably, in my opinion, his best year, the year he made the most noise. That was he got 503 receiving yards, which if you look at his time, but he only got that in 12 games, so he would have gotten even more if he played kind of all the way through. He's a national receiver, born in Montreal, Quebec City. Or not Montreal, Quebec City. He's born in Montreal in Quebec. Went to school in Connecticut. He's a national. This is a guy with a decent potential here. Like, in my opinion, this would be a very good depth receiver. BC has him kicking around on the practice roster, but I could see this guy being on your main roster in kind of a number, not necessarily like as a starter. Even if you have him as like a number 5 receiver, in my opinion, that's not bad. I thought his time was decent because he was with the Argonauts for a bit, and then it didn't really work out. Went to BC, was on their practice roster for a while, so that's why it's a re-signing, despite the fact that he's wearing a Argos jersey in the thumbnail because he was already on their practice roster. So this is a re-signing for Mayala. But if you look at his time in even like his time in college football with Connecticut, he had done relatively decent. Not putting up like the hugest numbers, but even in his last year, getting a bit of an expanded role, got 615 receiving yards across 10 games, started all 10 games with as long as being an 80-yard touchdown, got 7 touchdowns that year as an average of 14.3 yards per reception. So he's a decent piece, and I honestly am surprised that he's on the practice roster because I think he has a higher potential than the practice roster. Not necessarily saying this is going to be your number 1, number 2 receiver, but in my opinion, I could see him as a depth starter on the right team. But he's going to be sticking around with the Lions. What did you think about him? Because I was relatively impressed with him with his time with Edmonton. I'm surprised to see him kind of in this more minimized role.
I was going to say he also played for the USFL.
Oh, did
before he came to Hamilton.
Really? Because I didn't even see that here on his
yeah, it's on his
Wikipedia
page.
Really?
Yeah, he was only on the practice roster for us. Like he had like 2 regular season games and a playoff game, but didn't see any.
So it's this is probably why it's not on Football Database. So the star next to it is off-season or practice squad member only. So I'm not sure. He may not have even been on the practice roster. He may only have been on them for the off-season. Because even practice roster, that usually shows up on, or I guess that doesn't show up on Football Database sometimes. But he was either on their practice roster or or with them in the off-season. So that's probably why it doesn't show up on some of the radars. But yeah, because if we look at it, February 15th, 2023, signed with the New Orleans Breakers of the USFL. He was transferred to the team's inactive list in March of that year, just a little over a month later, March 19th, and then activated from the suspended list. He was released on April 10th. I'm curious to see why was... So that doesn't necessarily mean he was suspended. He was just put on the suspended list. Interesting. But with his time with BC, obviously he was able to impress them enough to be able to earn himself another contract. Again, with his status as a national, I think that should give him a little bit more of an advantage than maybe he's experienced up till so far. But he's only 30, so there's still time for him to kind of find himself a larger role. And I'm curious to see if maybe BC ever brings him in kind of that depth spot as even a number 5 receiver on that main roster, even if he's not necessarily going to be starter or getting a ton of minutes. So I'm curious. Is there anything else you got there, though, Rick? I think that's pretty much all I have.
Nope.
All in all, I actually think that this is a signing that would probably go under the radar for a lot of things. But in my opinion, I actually think this is a pretty solid move for the Lions. If you guys get hurt, you got to bring him up. In my opinion, this is a very capable guy on your practice roster. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you guys haven't, make sure you guys join our Discord. Link in the description below to our Discord where we discuss all things CFL, NHL, all sorts of sports stuff. So make sure you guys go there and keep the conversation going. And before we get going, make sure you guys, Rick, you got an announcement that you've made in some of our other videos, but regarding CFL free agency live stream over on Hamilton Sports Central.
Hamilton Sports Central over on the Wednesday, February 10th. I have some guests coming on. We're going to be taking a look at multiple different things. Coaching staff's changed. Rumors. We're going to be taking a look at every roster, not just my Ticats, but Winnipeg, Calgary, Toronto, Montreal, all that fun jazz. And we even have Carter's even working on a special graphics that when we have a news breaking, we have breaking news. So,
yeah.
And depending on which player we sign that day, I may even buy a jersey that day.
So check that out. We'll see you guys next time.
Well,
Rick, you have something to say? Oh, okay.
No.
We'll see you wonderful people next time.